Welcome back to computer science class. In the last session, we discussed a new data structure, that is queue. Then also we discussed types of queues, then memory representation of queue. In this video, we discuss how to insert a element to the queue, that is insertion algorithm. Insertion means we have to add a new element to the existing data structure. Here data structure is queue. We have to add a new element to the queue. That process is called enqueue. Enqueue, already we discussed in the last session. Enqueue is a process to add a new element to the existing data structure. So the operation enqueue needs a parameter. It needs a parameter but do not return any value. Let us see how to insert a new element to the existing queue. Let us take a diagram. Assume that Q is a array, have n number of elements. Then front and rear are the are the 2 pointers. Here the pointer front is used to delete a element, then pointer rear is used to insert a new element to the array. Assume that this is the position of front, then this is the position of rear. To insert a new element to the existing queue, first we have to verify whether the queue reaches the overflow or all the elements are full. Queue reaches the overflow. How to verify queue reaches the overflow? If the pointer rear is equal to maximum. What is maximum? Here maximum is a maximum size of the given array. If it reaches the maximum element, then the queue is overflow. If it is overflow, directly exit the algorithm. If it is in overflow, no need to add any further elements. So just exit the program. Next, verify if the front pointer is in a null position. This is the position of null. First we verify the overflow. If it is false, there is a space for the new element, then verify if the pointer front is in null position or both front and rear are in null position. If it is both front and rear are in null position, we have to increase that to 0. Otherwise, increase the rear pointer, then for the rear pointer assign the new element. That is the process. That is, first verify the rear is equal to maximum. If it is true, exit. Otherwise, set front is equal to 0 and rear is equal to 0. When if front is in null pointer, if it is in null pointer, set front equals 0, then rear equals 0. Else, if this condition is also false, then increase the rear pointer. How to increase? By adding 1. Rear equals rear plus 1. After that, for the rear position, that is for the queue of an rear, we have to insert our item. So this is the logic. What we done here? First we have to verify if the queue is under overflow. If it is under flow, no need to add any element to the queue, just exit the algorithm. Otherwise, verify if the pointer front is in null position. The front is in null position means rear is also in null position. If it is in null means the index value is -1. If it is in negative, then it is not possible to insert a element. Hence, we have to set both front pointer and rear pointers to 0 position, because array start from 0. If it is negative, then if it is in negative, there is no possibility to insert a new element. Hence, set both front pointer and rear pointer to 0 position. Otherwise, if this is also false, just increase the rear pointer. If it is not equal to n means assume that this is the position of rear. Then to insert a new element, we have to increase the rear pointer. This is the position of rear, that is rear plus 1. Increase the rear pointer. For the new position, insert a item. So this is the algorithm for insertion. Let's write a complete algorithm. Just write the statements. Let Q is a array, it is a one dimensional array, have max elements. Max is a maximum number of elements. Then front is a pointer. Front is a pointer. Stores deleted item. Then rear is a another pointer. It refers last inserted item. Here the rear pointer stores or rear pointer refers deleted item. It refers the deleted item because in a queue the pointer front is used to delete the element, then the pointer rear is used to insert a element. These are the two pointer front and rear. Then item is a element. It is a element to be inserted. It is a item to be inserted. Let's write the algorithm. In the step 1, we have to verify the overflow. How to verify? If rear pointer is equal to maximum, then it reaches the maximum number of elements, then just print or output overflow. So Q is overflow. At the same time exit the program. In the step 2, if this condition is false, then verify if front is equal to null. If front is equal to null, then if it is in null pointer, then set front pointer is equal to 0 position, then rear pointer is also equal to 0 position. If this condition is false, which one? Front is equal to null condition is false, then increase the rear pointer. Rear equals rear plus 1, because from the pointer rear we have to insert a element, so increase the rear pointer. Next is step 3. In the step 3, for the Q of n rear, insert the item. Use the assignment operator, then write the name of the item. Then step 4, return. So this is the algorithm. In the last step, we return to the program. So what we done here? First we have to verify the overflow. If it is false, then verify if front is equal to negative index value. If it is in negative, set both front and rear equals 0. Then else rear equals rear plus 1. If this condition false, we have to insert element from the rear position. So rear is always points to the recently inserted element. Hence we have to increase the rear position. So by adding 1. After increasing the rear position, insert a value, insert a item to the new position, return to the program. It is a simple algorithm to insert a new element to the existing queue. Let's discuss the algorithm for deletion. Algorithm for deletion or DQ. DQ operation. We know that DQ is a operation. Here we delete a element from the front pointer. In a queue, the elements are deleted from the front pointer. Let's see the diagram. Q is an array, have index values 0, 1, 2, 3. Elements are A, B, C, D. Then pointer, front and rear. Here the pointer front stores the location of deleted element, then rear pointer stores the location of recently inserted element. Then using front pointer we have to delete all the elements. To delete an element, the basic condition is we have to verify the queue is under flow. If the queue is under flow, how to verify queue is under flow? That is the condition. If front is equal to null. This is the condition for underflow. If it is underflow, directly we print underflow. Q is underflow. Underflow means there is no elements in the queue. Then directly we exit the program. Exit the program. That is the first one. Then in the second one, we have to verify if both the pointer front and rear place in the same place. That is, from the front pointer we have to delete element. Also we delete second element. Also we delete fourth element. Then the position of the front is third one. Third position is the position of front and rear. If both are in the same place, then we have a single element that we have to verify. The condition is if both front pointer and rear pointers are equal, both are in same place, then to remove the element, we have to set both front is equal to null pointer, then rear is equal to null pointer. Then only the element is deleted. See the condition. From the front pointer, we have to delete all the elements. When the front pointer reaches the rear position, what is rear here? Its location, it stores the location of recently inserted item. If both rear and front pointer placed in the same place, then we have to set both pointers front and rear to the null pointer. Then the element automatically deletes. If this condition is false, how to remove? To remove the element, just we have to increase the front pointer. Front equals front plus 1. To insert element, we increase the rear pointer. To delete element, we increase the front pointer, because from front pointer we have to remove all the elements. Before doing this one, before doing these two logics, we have to copy the item. That is, item equals Q of n front. We have to copy the element that to be deleted. After that, we have to print the item. So these are the procedures to remove the element from queue. What are the procedures? First, we have to verify. Whether it is in underflow. If it is in underflow, directly exit the algorithm. If it is false, if it is not in underflow, then queue have some elements. For that, then verify if both front and rear places in a single place. If it is both are in a single place, then have only one element. Queue have only one element. Hence, set both pointers to null pointer. If both front and rear are not in a same place, then increase the front pointer by adding +1. It automatically removes the item. Before going to remove the item, we must copy the deleted item in the position front. So q of n front, that is assigned to the temporary variable. So these are the procedure to delete a element from the existing queue. Let's write a algorithm. For that, let q is a array have max elements or items, both are same, elements are items. Front is a pointer, it stores or it refers the location of first item or element, location of first item. Rare is another pointer, it refers the location of last item. Then q follows first in first out principle. Then the algorithm is, in the step 1, first we have to verify the underflow. How to verify the underflow? If pointer front is equal to null, then just print underflow. If it is in null pointer means there is no elements in the queue, just we have to print underflow, exit the algorithm. If this condition is false, copy the item. How to copy? Item equals q of front. The element is deleted from the front pointer, so we have to copy the front pointer to the temporary variable. In the step 3, verify if both front pointer and rear pointers are equal, both are focused to the same location, then set front equals null pointer and rear equals null pointer. What is the meaning of null pointer here? Null pointer means set to the negative index value. If it is false, just increase the front pointer. Front equals front plus 1. Why it is? Because from the front pointer we delete the element. In the step 4, return to the program. So these are the steps for deleting a element. The first one is, here we verify underflow. The condition front equals rear means we have to verify both pointers are in same place. If both are in same place means you have only one element, hence we have to set to null pointer, otherwise increase the front pointer. So it can be done for all the elements. So this is an algorithm for deleting a element from existing queue. Let's see the applications of queue. The first application of the queue is simulation. Second one is used in operating system. Also used in multi-programming systems. then also used in application softwares, then printers routines, also used in printer routines. So these are the applications of Q. Q follows first in first out principle. Simulation, it is one of the technique used in the programming. Operating system, to develop a operating system we use queues. Then multi-programming system uses the queue data structure. Application softwares, in some application software development also we use queue technology. Then printer routines, in a printer routines also we use queue technology. And also round robin data structure, to solve a round robin we also use queue data structure. So these are the applications of queue. Let's discuss a new data type, that is linked list. Here linked list is a linear non-primitive data structure. It is a linear non-primitive data structure. Then linked list is also collection of elements. It is a linear collection of elements. Linked list is a linear collection of elements or linear order of elements. Here elements are called nodes. Elements are called nodes. And linear order is defined by the pointer. It is defined by the pointer. Linear order is defined by the pointer. So it is also collection of elements. Then in a linked list the elements are called nodes. Then the linearity is defined by the pointer. That is the definition of linked list. Let's discuss what is node. Here node is a variable. Generally node is a element or it is a variable. Then node have two parts. Every node have two parts. See the diagram. It is a node. Then every node have two parts. One is the information part, another one is the link part. The information part is also called data part. Then another one is the link part, it is a pointer. Here the information or data part actually holds the value. Then another one, link part, stores the address of next node, that is the node. So these types of nodes are collected in linked list. In a queue and stack, it is a linear collection of data elements. All elements are arranged sequentially. They can share sequential memory location or consecutive memory location. But linked list is a collection of data items. It is a collection of element, but memories are not sequentially arranged. The memories are stored in a link part. For example, see here, it is a start of the linked list. Then linked list is a linear collection of elements. Elements are called nodes. See here, it is a one node, then it is a next node, then another node. In this diagram, linked list, it is a linked list. Linked list have three nodes. The first one is N1, second one is N2, third one is N3. Then see here, the address of the N1 is 200, second one is 201, third one is 205, like this. The memories are not sequential. In a linked list, the memory addresses are not sequential, but every node have the address of the next node. Pre-know the address of the next node. How it is? Start stores the address of the first node 200. So compiler easily identify the starting node. Which one is the starting node? It reaches the n1. Then n1 in a data part have a value. Then link part have a address of the next node. Here it stores 201. Compiler reads the address of the next node. It reaches the second node. The second node data part stores the value, actual value. Then link part stores the address of the next node. Here it have a address 205. Hence compiler knows which one is the next node. It move on to the next node, node 3. Here we have a value 100. Then in the last node do not have any value. If you do not have any value means linked list have the last node, that is the last node, that is stop or null. So this is the technique in linked list. This is an example for linked list. What is linked list? Linked list is a linear collection of elements. It is a linear, see here, it is a linear collection of elements. Then these elements are called nodes. Then every node in a linked list, have two parts. One is the data part, another one is the link part. The data part actually stores the value. Link part stores the address of the next node. Here data stores actual value, then link part stores address of next node, hence it is a collection of data items. Here data items are elements. Then linked list starts with a start node, it begins with a start node. Then the beginning of the node stores the address of first node. The beginning node stores the address of first node. Then first node stores the address of second node. Then second node stores the address of third node, like this. Then in a linked list, the last node link part do not store any addresses. Generally it is in null. That is the end of an linked list. So it is the basic concept of linked list. Let's discuss what are the types of linked list. There is a three types of linked list. The first one is singly linked list. Second one is circular linked list. Then third one is doubly linked list. These are the three types of linked list. Single linked list, that is called singly, circular linked list, then doubly linked list. In a singly linked list, each node have two parts. First part stores a data, and second part stores address of next node. That is called single linked list. But it is, see the diagram, it is the beginning of the linked list, then it is a collection of elements. Here the elements are called nodes. Then the last node have a null pointer, do not store any addresses. This type of linked lists are called singly linked list. Then second one is circular linked list. In a circular linked list, the last node pointer or link part stores the address of first node. Why we call it as it is circular? See here, the node pointer, the last node pointer or link part. This part stores the address of first node. See the diagram. Beginning of the linked list, then it is a collection of node. Each node have two partitions. But the link part of the last node stores the address of the first node. Hence it is a circular linked list. Then last one is doubly linked list. In a doubly linked list, each node have three parts. Each node have three parts. See the diagram. Each node have three parts. First one is back, info, then forward. Back, info and forward. These are the three parts. Here the back stores the address of the previous node, info stores the actual data, forward stores the address of the next node. Hence it is a double linked list. In a double linked list, each node have three partitions. Every node stores the address of the previous node and also address of the next node. The middle part stores the actual data. Hence we call it as it is a double linked list. So these are the three types of linked list. In an examination, it is asked for 3 marks question. Make it as a important, because have three types: single linked list, circular linked list and double linked list. In a single linked list, each node have only two parts. One is the link part, another one is the data part. The data part actually stores the data, link part stores the address of the next node. Hence it is a single linked list. Then in a circular linked list, the last node link section, the link part of the last node, stores the address of the first node. Hence it is a circular linked list. Then third one is double linked list. In a double linked list, each node have three parts. The first one is back, middle one is info, last one is forward. Here back stores the address of the previous node, info stores the actual data, forward stores the address of the next node. So these are the three types of linked list.